Hey folks, it's Cowlick, and today I am doing a video on tow bars for Legnums, particularly Mitsubishi EC5W. There are many tow bar threads on the various forums, and I figured what was a good thing to do would be to measure the one I've got, which absolutely fits a Legnum because it was made in New Zealand by the Towbar factory to fit Legnum's EC5W, and it came off a friend of mine's Legnum, so we know it fits. So let's measure it. In case you have a different tow bar available, maybe it's a tow bar from a HJ Galant, which we seem to think fits the EC5A or 8th generation Galant. We don't know about the Legnum though, but let's just get some measurements done. So, starting with the width, it looks to be 1040 millimeters wide. Maybe that might be a little bit less, but there we go. And in terms of the depth of the protrusion into the chassis rails, I'm just going to adjust my shrink my little tape measure down here so I can hold it. It looks to be 240 something, roughly 245. Bear in mind I have to hold this camera and look at it as well. Yep, I'd say about 244 millimeters deep. The bar itself, now this bar does clear the rear bumper on the Legnum, which is a sport style bumper, as you can see. So let's measure the drop of that bar without crushing my feet. So here we go. The drop, I'm going to actually just shrink my thing again so I can get a better idea of this without, whilst holding the camera more to the point. Alright, let's do this. Backlight no good. That looks to be about 190 mil. Yep, or 19 centimeters roughly for the drop to clear the bumper and then come up. Let's also measure, oh hello, that's interesting, the other side, right hand side rail goes deeper. Now I did not cut these slots in this rail, but I suspect these cuts are to clear the mounting bolts for the AYC pump. That's what I would guess. The two bolts we have on this side are back here. This suggests that these are the two bolts the previous owner used, but the bolt holes are about 60 millimeter to the center, about 180 millimeters to the center, and what looks to be, let me just extend my tape measure a bit with terrible camera work, 265 millimeters to the center on the right hand rail. Let's look at the left hand rail. Looks to be about 50 millimeters to the first bolt and about 128 to 130 mil for the second bolt. Now let's measure the size of the, excuse me, of the actual rails themselves. They look about 50mm high by 50mm wide. So they're definitely a box shape, which does match what I've seen in the chassis rails for this car. So there you go, folks. Hopefully those measurements will allow you to determine if the tow bar you have or can get made will fit your car, your Legnum. And I will also do a video on the installation and fitment of this bar, so we can get some tips and tricks on the fitment. And I would guess, just looking at these, I'll have to be removing AYC pump bolts from the rail to get this in and then reinstalling them, possibly. I'll let you know.